Now the answers for the history round go as follows. Question 1. There are 24 members of the Knights and Ladies of the Garter. 24 members. Question 2. The Peak District is Britain's oldest national park. The Peak District. Question 3. The last Welshman to hold the title of Prince of Wales was Owen Glyndwr. Owen Glyndwr, if that's how you say it. Question 4. Under a decree of Charles II, there has to be 6 ravens at the Tower of London. 6 ravens. Question 5. Highclere Castle is the home to the Carnarvon family that was used as the residence for Downton Abbey. Highclere Castle. Number 6. Queen Victoria is buried at Frogmore Estate in Windsor. Frogmore Estate. Question 7. John Lennon gave his name to Liverpool Airport. John Lennon gave his name. Question 8. The occupation of Shakespeare's father was a glove maker. The occupation of Shakespeare's father was a glove maker. Question 9. The only Prime Minister to be assassinated was Spencer Perceval. The only Prime Minister to have been assassinated was Spencer Perceval. And the only Prime Minister that had English as a second language was David Lloyd George. The only Prime Minister to have English as his second language was David Lloyd George. And that is the end of the history round. And those are the answers. The answers to the geography round are as follows. The name of England's smallest city is Wells. The name of England's smallest city is Wells. That's number 1. Number 2, there are 4 Tate galleries in the UK. There are 2 in London, the Tate Modern and the Tate Gallery. And then there's 1 in Liverpool, and then there's 1 in St Ives in Cornwall. Question 3. The main difference between a Cornish and a Devon pasty is Cornish pasties must be crimped on the side, not on the top. Cornish pasties must be crimped on the side and not on the top. Question 4. Kent is the proud supplier of strawberries for Wimbledon. Kent is the proud supplier of strawberries for Wimbledon. Question 5. The comedian who was born in Weston-super-Mare in 1939 is John Cleese. John Cleese is the comedian. Question 6. Dorset is one of 5 counties not to have a motorway running through it. A motorway was the answer. That's question 6. Question 7. The name of the row of 3 stacks of chalk off the Isle of Wight is the Needles. 3 stacks. The name of the row of 3 stacks of chalk is the Needles. Question 8. Britain's largest national park is the Cairngorms in Scotland. Britain's largest national park is the Cairngorms in Scotland. And question 9. The Medici family was the very powerful family based in Florence in the 15th century. The Medici family. And question 10. The mountain with strong biblical connections is the highest peak in Turkey is Mount Ararat. Mount Ararat. And that is the end of the geography round. Then answers for the numbers round is as follows. Question 1. David Bowie's first album was called Aladdin Sane. Question 2. The 2 rugby union players to have scored more than 500 points was Owen Farrell and Johnny Wilkinson. Question 3. The 3 novels that make up Philip Pullman's Dark Materials trilogy are Northern Lights, The Subtle Knife and the amber spyglass. Northern Lights, the subtle knife, and the amber spyglass. Question 4. The 4 members of The Who are Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend, Keith Moon, and John Entwistle. Question 5. The 5 US states that share a land border with New York State are Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Vermont. Connecticut, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Vermont. Question 6. The 6 noble gases are helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. Question 7. According to 2016 statistics, the 7 busiest airports in the world were London Heathrow, Tokyo, Beijing, Dubai, Atlanta, LA, and Chicago. Again, London Heathrow, Tokyo, Beijing, Dubai, Atlanta, and LA, and Chicago. Question 8. The first 8 books of the Old Testament are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, and Ruth. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, and Ruth. Question 9. The 9 British drivers to win the Formula 1 World Championships were and are Jim Clark, Graham Hill, Jackie Stewart, John Surtees, Nigel Mansell, James Hunt, Damon Hill, Lewis Hamilton, and Jenson Button. Now I'll say those again. Jim Clark, Graham Hill, Jackie Stewart, Nigel Mansell, John Surtees, James Hunt, Damon Hill, Lewis Hamilton, and Jenson Button. And question 10, even though it wasn't based on numbers as such, the financier John Jacob Astor met his death in April 1912. The actual date gives you the clue. He went down with the Titanic. And that is the end of the numbers round. And the answers to the potluck round are as follows. Question 1. Mary Quant was credited to have invented the miniskirt and hot pants. Mary Quant. Question 2. Pelota is a word for ball in the Spanish language. Question 3. In New York, you can find the Swedish Cottage Marionette Theatre, the Angel of Water statue, the Diana Ross Playground, and Belvedere Castle in Central Park. Question 4. Alec Guinness was the actor who had not played in The Great Escape. Alec Guinness. Question 5. La Gioconda is usually known as the Mona Lisa. All right, the Mona Lisa. Question 6. The group that played to 125,000 at Nebworth was Oasis. Oasis. Question 7. The city that provided the setting for Cheers was Boston. And Ted Danson was the actor who played Sam Malone. Question 8. The European capital city's name that means white city is Belgrade. Belgrade. Question 9. The Queen's song, where she kept her Moet Chandon in a pretty cabinet, was Killer Queen. And question 10. The name that's given to both a great Olympian and a great acting dynasty is Redgrave. Redgrave. And that is the end of the quiz. And I hope you liked it. And as I said, the table round is all about Strictly Come Dancing winners. And there are at least 16 of them. So I'm going to do some this time and some next time. Okay? but I'll mix up the letters. I might not make the phrases, you know, I'll mix up the letters so it's hard for you. Okay, but thank you anyway. See you soon.